Well, hello, Internet people and all my friends from around the world. I'm back here to talk about what is channeling and how can it help you, or how does it help most people. As you know now, I am beginning my tour of Beyond the Portal, which is a workshop to help you heal and harmonize from the inside out. And it is very much in the same style as other channels who have gone before me. And I would say, to me, I most closely resonate with Abraham-Hicks, Esther Hicks and Abraham. I am a little bit different in how I work. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about channeling to me. And it's interesting because I've learned recently that even though I would think of Esther as one of the most famous channels in our time, I found out, actually never even used the word channeling. Very interestingly, she doesn't use the word channeling because what I read is she said, well, basketball players don't say they're channeling. And I totally get that, because to me, I've used different definitions because I think there's a spectrum, and maybe sometimes words have multiple meanings, or over time they have more meanings. I think that's what's happening here. So channeling, when I first started out, I considered channeling just tuning in, right? I thought of it as a channel of a radio station or a television. Those frequencies are out there all the time. And, your television, whether you're hooked up to the internet or to TV, those stations, the airway is filled. Even this YouTube, it's filled and it's going out into the world. And you have to actually come find the YouTube channel and click on it to hit play to see it. So if we think about frequencies, channels are out there. We have frequencies now in the world, in our air, in our ethers all the time, and we choose to tune into them or not using our devices. So in that sense, channeling is just tuning the channel to a certain frequency. One of the things that I read Esther had said is that, I said basketball players don't say they're channeling. I would put that into everything we do. And I want to bring it home for you. And I want you to think about the fact that whether it's been a creative inspiration where you're writing something or painting something, creating a garden, and you just get inspired and you feel like there's more to it than you. If you're on the phone with a friend and you suddenly are giving this really sage advice and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is really good, I should listen to it myself. That's a form of channeling. That's tuning into another frequency that is more than just your physical limitations of that moment. So it's really that common. We often call it, for writers, a muse, tuning into a muse. If you think about actors are, and you talk to an actor, you'll see that they're tapping into the character. They're becoming one with the character, and they're letting that character lead them. Sometimes maybe they're tuning into a type of person, an archetype that is in our frequencies. So this is a very common thing in our world. When we talk about channeling the way I'm talking about it, we add another component. And that's the component of my gift is bringing in the words. And I do it best. So I do it through my writing, for sure. But I also do it through the gift of merging my energy, expanding my energy to include another being, and then allowing that frequency to speak through me. Now, I want to explain this. Anytime I channel, I am merging, not leaving. I'm not just exiting my body and allowing someone to take over. I'm merging. And so my personality is in there, my knowledge. The more knowledge I have, the more that's in my brain for the the frequency that I'm bringing through to access, the more, the easier the information is for the words to flow. I can tell you that I can have a thought and not be able to come up with the words, but if I shift over to the channeling frequencies, the words are really eloquent. Sometimes, I channel different beings, so some aren't as eloquent, but it definitely allows the flow to be much more gentle, fluid, creative, brilliant. But it is a little bit of me. So the way I like to think of this, so if you've seen some of my YouTube channels, you know that I channeled Robin Williams shortly after he crossed over. That was not my intention. I had not had that in my mind at all. In fact, I was quite uncomfortable with the idea at the time, but his spirit, as I recognized it, came to me. It's interesting. I've wondered why me. There is a joke when I open up to spirit that it's like I'm a bright light so they can find me. But I've had other souls find me, and usually when that happens, there's a connection, at least a second ring. So I did know someone who knew Robin. I knew someone who knew Robin. I did actually just find out today that I actually knew another person who knew him, and I actually did some work in their house, and he had stayed there at another time. So we weren't that far away in rings of frequencies. Anyway, when he came in and I started working with him, it's really important to know that there is a piece of me in that. And I especially want to know that, I want you to know that was someone who is so recently crossed over, who is so well known, because somebody else his family could have a different feeling. And I never want to overstep somebody's own relationship with a person. So if you think about the fact that you may be a little bit different with everybody, so your best friend might see different aspects of you than your parents see, or your children may perceive you in a different way. You may behave a little bit different. It's still you, but your personality, whenever you're with someone else, blends in with theirs to create that relationship. So that is exactly what's happening with me when I channel. I do channel many different beings, and it's important to me that I do that because we can go to the highest frequencies. And this is funny too, because I found out after that Robin, there's a clip out there someplace where Robin actually kind of talks about this, and it came to me after I was joking about this. But to me, it's most important that we realize that we can connect with all frequencies and we can draw different information about this. This really doesn't have to do with religion and what you think happens after you're dead. That can go anywhere you want it to go, and it doesn't conflict with this, because if you realize we're all one and we are a frequency of oneness, which is scientifically proven right now, we're personalities of the whole, of nature, of everything, then if we can still tap into those frequencies at any time, then those are available to us and they can continue to evolve. Anyway, I think it's important for us to hear a lot of different perspectives, and my passion is always in how to make this helpful to you here on Earth and into your daily life. How does it make you heal your pain? How does it fill you with hope or comfort? How does it help you grow in your insights? How does it help you connect to nature, enhance your relationships? How does it help you manifest the life that you want? All of these things are what are important. And I think that when we tap into different personalities, different frequencies, and we get their insights and understandings, then we have more of a chance of integrating that into our own personality. So that is channeling from my perspective. That's how I work. I do work with a lot of different beings. And sometimes I bring in messages from people in more of what we would call a mediumship, and I will do another video about what a medium does from my perspective. But sometimes it's just simply easier to let them talk in first person, and it works, and their frequency moves through. So that's it for now. I'll be back. Feel free to post your questions, comments, whatever you have to say about it in the comments. I will check them out and answer them. And I would love to have you join me in one of my Beyond the Portal workshops in which we explore some of this, and I'll tell you more in other videos about what we're doing. But either way, however you're doing it, wherever you're trying to understand the process of channeling, I hope that you understand and start to see that it's actually quite natural, and it isn't anything we have to decide whether we believe in. We can just accept the gifts that come through it. So my workshops kick off in Syracuse, New York on September 21st, and then I'm headed to Connecticut and Charlotte and LA, and 2020 will fill it up with even more places. So thank you for listening. Have an awesome day. Ask your questions. I'm happy to answer them.